Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Yasir Gulfraz and I'm your tutor for today's session. And I hope you are doing well today. Welcome to our second session where we will continue exploration of basic economics and application in the business world. So, basic economics and its application in the business world. Today, we will focus on our learning outcome two, and we will discuss key economic principles that shape business strategies and decision making. So, any question, any issues before I get started? Okay, so indicative content, the price of money, banking system, inflation and its impact, international dimension, how currencies affect international trade, overview of the impact of globalization on business. Here, some key terminologies, demand and supply. As you know, demand the quantity of a product or service that consumer are willing and able to buy at different price. Supply, quantity of products as service and producers are willing to offer at different price levels. And equilibrium price, the price on which the quantity demanded equal the quantity supplied, balancing the market. Then it's a market structure, uh, perfect competition market. Many businesses sell identical products, meaning no single company can control prices. Uh, but in monopoly, one company dominate the market, controlling supply and setting prices. Oligopolies consist of a few large firms that influence market trends, often leading to limited competitions. Lastly, in monopolistic competition, businesses sell similar but slightly differentiated products. Slightly different differentiated products, allowing them to attract customers through branding and unique features. Opportunity cost, another key concept in opportunity cost, a important factor in business decision making. It refers to the potential benefits lost when choosing one alternative over another. Uh, Here's a video to enhance our understanding of today's topic. I encourage you all to watch the following videos. So this video will provide a practical perspective on the role of economics in business decision making. As you watch, think about how these economic concepts influence real world business strategies. After the video, we will discuss how these idea apply in everyday business opportunities. So you can discuss any, if there will be any issue, we can discuss in our next session. Right. So, understanding basic economics as they apply to the business world. Now that we have covered some essential economic principles, so let's examine how they directly affect businesses. Every company, regardless of size, industries, relies on economic knowledge to make decision about production, pricing, and resource management. By integrating economic analysis into their decision making processes, businesses can improve their competitiveness, financial stability, and long term growth perspective prospects. So, now we will discuss some fundamental economic concepts that businesses must consider in their operations. Any questions so far, if anyone's there? Okay, fundamental economic concept of business. One of the most important concept in economics is scarcity. Every business operate with limited resources, including raw materials, labor capital, and time. Because these resources are finite, businesses must make strategic choices about how to allocate them efficiently. Uh, for example, a company may need to decide whether to invest in expanding productions or development a new product line. Each decision comes with trade-off closely related to scarcity is the concept of uh, opportunity cost. So, which we discussed earlier, businesses constantly face decisions that requires them to weigh the benefits and drawbacks of different options. For instance, a retailer deciding whether to expand into an international market must consider the opportunity uh, cost of using those funds for domestic marketing instead. By understanding opportunities cost, businesses can make smarter financial decisions that align with their long-term goals. Supply and demand. This is another important factor influencing a business strategy when customer or consumer demand for a product rises, businesses often increase production and raise prices to maximize profits. If demand declines, businesses may need to lower price to reduce productions to avoid losses. Understanding these market dynamics allows companies to adjust their pricing strategies, production levels, and inventory management accordingly. Any questions so far? Right. Types of economic systems, market economy. Uh, in this system, businesses and consumers drive economy actively. Prices and productions level are determined by supply and demand with minimal government interference. This creates an environment when competitions thrives, leading to innovation, better production quality, and more choices of consumer. Then command economy. In this system, the government has full control over productions, pricing, and distributions, while this ensures stability and prevent monopolies. Uh, it also limits businesses' autonomy and discourage innovation, since companies have a little freedom to respond to consumer demands to market trends. Mixed economy. The most common system today is the mixed economy, which blends elements of both market and command economic economies. So this allows businesses to operate independently while following government regulations that protect consumer rights. and ensures economic stability. So, mixed economy strikes a balance between free enterprise and social welfare, ensuring that economic benefits are distributed fairly. Most countries today, including the UK and the USA, follow a mixed economic model. Any questions so far? Okay, so economic indicators and their impact on businesses, gross domestic product, which measures the total value of goods and services production within a country. Business analyze GDP growth to assess market potential, predict demand trends. A rising GDP generally signals economic expansions, while a declining GDP may indicate a slowdown affecting consumer spending and business growth. Uh, Inflation, another critical indicator is inflation, which refers to the rate at which price increases over time. When inflation is high, the cost of raw material, wages, production rises, so making it harder for businesses to maintain profitability. Consumer in turn reduce spending, which can slow down businesses' growth. On the other hand, controlled inflation encourages businesses to invest and expand. Unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is also important factor. When unemployment is high, fewer people have disposable income, leading to lower demand for goods and services. Conversely, when unemployment is low, businesses may face labor shortages and higher wages cost. Last one is interest rate. Interest rate, which are controlled by central banks to regulate borrowing and spending. Lower interest rates encourage businesses to take loans for expansion, while higher rates can slow down investment and consumer spending. Businesses must closely track these indicators to plan for future economic shifts. Any questions so far? Right. Now, it's a quite important topic, microeconomics and macroeconomics. So, microeconomics and macroeconomics, economics is divided into two main branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. So, understanding both is essential for making strategic business decisions. Microeconomics focuses on individuals, businesses, and consumer behavior. It deals with pricing strategies, production, cost, market competition, and consumer preferences. Businesses apply microeconomic principles when declining how much to produce, what prices to set, and how to differentiate that products from competitors. For example, a company launching a new product must analyze consumer demand, uh, competitors' pricing, and production costs to determine a profitable selling price. On the other hand, macroeconomics looks at the broader economy, including national productivity, inflation, government policies, and global trade. Business Businesses must analyze macroeconomics factor to anticipate market uh, conditions, adopt to policy changes, and plan long-term strategies. For example, uh, during an economic recession, businesses might can cost and delay expansion to mitigate financial risk. Market structure and their influence on business strategy. Uh, Business operates in different market structure which impact their pricing power, competition, and profitability. So here we will discuss these structures and how they shape businesses strategy. Perfect competition. In a perfect competition market, many businesses sell identical products and no single company can control prices. Uh, Monopolistic competition. Many businesses sell similar but slightly differentiated products. Branding, quality, and customer service become key factors in attracting customers. Businesses in this market structure have some control over pricing because they can differentiate their products. Example include retail stores, clothing brands, and restaurants. An oligopoly, next one, in an oligopoly, a few large companies dominate the market, making competition limited. Industries such as telecommunications, automotive, and airlines often operate as oligopolies. Finally, monopoly. In a monopoly, a single company controls the entire market with no direct competitors. This allows the businesses to set price without restrictions. However, monopolies are often regulated by government to prevent unfair pricing and protect consumer interest. Example including utility companies and public transportation services. Any questions so far? If anyone is there. Okay, business cycle and their phases. Expansion. During the expansion phase, economic actively rises, leading to uh, a higher GDP, increased employment, and strong consumers spending. Uh, Peak at the peak, the economic reaches its maximum output. However, inflation may rise and growth may slow down due to limited resources. Businesses must be cautious not to overexpand during this phase, as a downtime might follow. Next is recession. During a recession, economic activity declines, GDP falls, unemployment rises, and consumer spending drops. Businesses may face lower sale and financial struggles, uh, leading them to cut costs, delay investments, and implement uh, survival strategies. Through through market, the lowest point in the cycle before recovery began, businesses that prepared well during the recessions can now start reinvesting, expanding, and taking the advantage of new market opportunities. Globalization and its economic impact on businesses. Access to international market. Globalization enables businesses to expand beyond domestic borders, increasing revenue potential by reaching diverse market. Competition and efficiency. Global competition pushes businesses to innovate, improve efficiency, and lower prices to remain competitive. Foreign exchange rate. Foreign exchange for businesses operating internationally, currency exchange rate influence costs, pricing, and profitability. Stronger domestic currently makes exports more expensive, while a weaker currency may boost export competitiveness. Any questions so far? If anyone is there. Okay, so next is government influence on business economics. Uh, government monetary policy controlled by central banks adjust interest rate and money supply to stabilize economic growth. Businesses must monitor these changes to adjust borrowing and investment strategies. Fiscal policy involves government spending and taxations. Lower taxes encourage businesses expansions, while higher taxes may also down economic activity. Trade policies such as tariffs and trade agreements impact import and export cost, influencing businesses' profitability in global market. Businesses must stay informed on government regardless regulations to navigate economic challenges effectively. Right. Conclusion for this section: understanding basic economic concepts helps businesses make smart decisions, adjust to market changes, and stay competitive. By looking at both small scale, micro, and big picture macroeconomic factors, businesses can prepare for challenges and find opportunities to grow and succeed in the long run. Any questions so far? Okay. Describe the different measure of money. Uh, Money is not just about physical cash, it includes various assets that can be quickly converted into cash. Economics and policymakers use different money supply measures to assess how much money is circulating in the economy, uh, and how accessible it is. So these measures help government make informed decisions about monetary policy, inflation's control, and economic growth. Uh, Here are the main measures of money commonly used: M0, narrow money or base money. Definitions: MO or base money is the most liquid measure of money. It includes physical currency like notes and coins in circulation and reverse reserves held by the central bank. Components, coins, and banknotes held by the public and commercial banks, reserves with the central bank. Characteristics: it represents the base from which other forms of money are delivered. M0 is the most easily accessible from the money and can be quickly used for transactions. Use M0 is often used to understand the immediate cash supply within economy, and central bank closely monitor it to manage inflation and control inflation rates. M1, moving one step beyond M0, we have M1, which include the components of M0. So plus demand deposits, checking accounts. In commercial banks, demand deposits allows individuals and businesses to access their funds immediately through debit cards, online transfers, and ATM withdrawals. Since M1 represent money that is ready for spending, It serves as an important indicator of consumer purchasing power and economic activity. When M1 increases, it often signals that people are spending more, which can boost economic growth. Conversely, if M1 declines, it may indicate reduced customer spending, which could slow down economic expansion. Now we will talk about M2, which is broad money. M1 was narrow money. M1 is broad money. So M2 takes it a step further by including savings accounts and short-term deposits. So these funds are not as immediately accessible as M1, but can still convert it into cash relatively easily. M1 consists of all M1 components: cash, demand deposit, and checking accounts, saving accounts, small time deposits such as certificates of deposit under a specific amount. M2 often used as economic indicator because it reflects both spending money and saving that could be used in the near future. A rising M2 suggests that consumers and businesses have more funds available for purchases and investments, potentially fueling economic growth. On the other hand, a decline in M2 may indicate the money is being withdrawn from savings, which could slow down economic activity because M2 includes money that is saved rather than immediately spent. It is more stable indicator of the money supply and near-term investment trends compared to M1 or narrow money. Any questions so far? M3, a broader measure of money supply, all M2 components: cash deposits, saving accounts, and small time spending, large time deposits, in institutional money market resource accounts, and other larger financial assets. M3 gives a broader view of the money circulating within the economy, helping economists understand how much capital is available for long term investment and financial stability. While M3 funds are not as accessible for everyday transactions, they play important role in economic growth and investment market. Any questions so far? Right. M4 or UK specific. In the UK, M4 is used as a broader measure similar to M3, including all the components of M3 along with other wholesale deposits can and large institutional deposits. Components: M3 plus other bank deposit and building society deposits. Characteristics: M4 represent the broader measure of money in the UK, including all liquid and near liquid assets across commercial banks and other financial institutions. Use M4 is used by the Bank of England as a key measure to monitor the total money supply within the UK economy. Here is a summary. We already discussed their components: liquidity level and use. M0, physical currency and reserves. Liquidity level high, central bank monitoring of cash supply. It's a use. M1, components: M0 plus demand deposits. Liquidity level is high. Use indicate of immediate transactional money. M2, M1 plus saving account, small time deposit is liquidity level is moderate, measures near term spending and saving capacity. When we talk about M3 components are M2 plus large time deposit and institutional accounts. So liquidity level is low. So use insight into broader money supply and investment. And finally, M4, M3 plus other bank building society deposits. Liquidity level is broadest, UK specific. So use is again UK specific measure for monitoring full money supply. So explain why interest rates are important to government and businesses. Right. Interest rate is the cost of borrowing money or the return earned on savings. So when interest rate rises, borrowing becomes more expensive. When can slow down businesses expansions and reduce consumer spending. On the other hand, when interest rates are lower, borrowing money cheaper encourages investment, spending, and economic growth. Government use interest rates as a part of their monetary policy to regulate the economy, while businesses must carefully monitor these changes to make informed decisions about loans, investment, and pricing strategies. Interest rates and government economic policy. Uh, Monetary policy tool. One of the primary use of interest rate is as a monetary policy tool. When the economy is growing too fast, the government may increase interest rate to slow down spending and prevent inflation from rising uncontrollably. Inflation control, another critical function of interest rate is inflation control. When prices start rising too quickly, the government can increase interest rates to discourage excessive borrowing and spending, helping stabilize pricing. On the other hand, if inflation is too low or there's an economic slowdowns, lower interest rates make borrowing more affordable, encouraging businesses and customers to spend more, the boosting economic activity. Uh, Government also borrow debit servicing costs. Government often borrow to financial public services and investments. It is cheaper for government to borrow money, allowing them to invest more in public services. However, high interest rates make borrowing costly, potentially leading to budget constraints and reduced public spending. Uh, Currency stability can make important cheaper. It can also make exports more expensive, reducing their competitiveness in the global market. On the other hand, lower interest rates can weaken the currency but make exports more attractive, supporting economic growth. Any questions so far? Internal interest rate and businesses, cost of borrowing, investment, and expansion. So, cost of borrowing is a major concern. When interest rates are low, businesses can borrow money more affordability, allowing them to expand, invest in new technology, and enter new market. This can lead to job creation, higher productivity, and increased profitability. Investment and expansion. The availability of cheap credit also encourages businesses to investment, innovation, and growth opportunities. Companies are more likely to take on new projects when borrowing affordability. In contrast, high interest rates reduce investment as businesses hesitate to take in costly loans, potentially slowing down overall economic progress. Consumer spending and demand. Since many consumers rely on loans, mortgages, and credit cards, the cost of borrowing uh, affects their purchasing power. Lower interest rates means lower monthly payment, giving consumers more disposable income to spend on goods and services. Profit margin, another important factor is how interest rates affect profit margin. Industries in the debt depend on consumer spending, such retails, automotive, and real estate. As high sensitive to interest rate changes when borrowing becomes more expensive, demand for housing, cars, and luxury goods tends to decline. On the other hand, financial institutions like bank and lenders benefit from higher interest rates as they earn more from loans. Lastly, exchange rate implications. Businesses that operate internationally must consider how interest rates impact exchange rates. If a country raises interest rates, its currency may strengthen, making exports more expensive and less attractive to foreign buyers. Conversely, lower interest rates can weaken the currency, making exports cheaper and more competitive in global market. Interest rate and overall economic health. Business cycle management and employment levels. So during the economic slowdown or recession, government lower interest rates to encourage businesses, investment, and consumer spending. This stimulates the economy, leading to higher employment and increased demand for goods and services. Uh, on the other hand, when the economy is growing too fast, interest rate may be raised to prevent an economic bubble. High interest rate control excessive borrowing and spending, helping to avoid inflation spike and financial instability. Employment rate or employment levels are also influenced by interest rate. Low interest rates encourage job creation as businesses expand uh, and hire more employees. Conversely, higher rates can slow down hiring and lead to job losses, particularly in industries that rely on credit and consumer spending. Summary. Government stakeholders, government reason for interest in interest rate, control inflation, stabilize currency, manage loans or debts. Impact affects budget, inflation, targets, economic stability. Uh, Businesses, cost of borrowing, investment decisions, profit margins, impacts capital investment, consumer demand, and revenue. So, conclusion for this section: the power of interest rate in economic management. Interest rates are one of the most powerful economic tools available for government. They help regulate inflation, stabilize the economy, and manage national debt. For businesses, interest rates impact borrowing cost, investment decisions, and consumer demand, ultimately shaping profitability and growth potential. Understanding how interest rates fluctuates and how they impact different sectors of the economy is essential for strategic planning and financial management. Whether you are managing a business, working in a finance, or planning investment, keeping an eye on interest rates trends can help you make informed decisions. Any questions so far? If anyone is there, any questions so far? Right. Explain how exchange rates can potentially affect businesses. Exchange, the value of one currency in relation to another, so can significantly impact businesses, especially those engaged in international trade. So these rates affect imports and exports, cost, profit margin, competitiveness, and the overall financial stability to businesses with global exposure. So here's how exchange rates can potentially impact businesses: export competitiveness and import cost. So when a country's currency weaken or depreciates compared to foreign currencies, it is good and services become cheaper for foreign buyers. This can lead to increased demand for exports, benefiting businesses that sell products internationally. For example, if the British pound weaken against the US dollars, British goods become more affordable in the US, uh, making them more competitive in the market. This often results in higher export sales and greater revenue for businesses operating in international market. On the other hand, weakened domestic currency makes imported goods more expensive since businesses have to spend more local currency to purchase foreign products. So this can increase cost for companies that rely on imported raw materials, equipment, or finished goods, leading to higher production cost and reduced profit margins. Businesses might then have to pass these traditional costs on to consumers, potentially leading to higher prices and lower demand. Impact on profit margin and price strategies, foreign currency loans, and financial obligations. So, impact on exchange rates fluctuations can directly affect businesses' profitability, especially for companies that sells products internationally or rely on foreign suppliers. If a company earns revenue in a foreign currency, a strong domestic currency appreciation means that the money received from international sales converts to a smaller amount for local currency. Pricing strategies: if a company dealing with a stronger domestic currency, it may have to increase prices in foreign markets to maintain profit margins. However, rising prices could reduce demand, making it harder to compete with local businesses in their market. Companies that operate in multiple currencies must carefully monitor exchange rates and adopt their pricing models to maintain profitability and market competitiveness. Businesses that borrow money in foreign currencies are exposed to exchange uh, rate risk. It is if a business has a loan debtor dominated in a foreign currency, a depreciation of the domestic currency means that the company has to pay more in local currency. Uh, Hedging costs. To protect against these risks, some businesses use hedging strategies such as forward contracts and options to lock in exchange rates and minimize losses. However, these hedging strategies come with their own cost, which can affect overall profitability if exchange rate do not move and anticipated. Companies must always consider the impact of exchange rate movement on their financial liabilities to ensure sustainable cash flow and debt management. Any questions so far? Impact on foreign investment and earning repatriation and competitiveness in a global market. For multinational companies, earning made in foreign currencies must often be converted back into domestic currencies. Exchange rate fluctuations can result in lower than expected profits if the foreign currency weakens against the domestic currency. Valuation of foreign investment, valuation value of foreign assets uh, can fluctuate with exchange rates. For example, if a US based company owns assets in the Eurozone, a depreciation of the euro relative to the dollars could reduce the value of these assets when measured in dollars, potentially impacting the company's balance sheet. Relative pricing positioning. Exchange rates can influence a company competitiveness relative to foreign companies. If businesses within a weak domestic currency has an advantage in international market because its products are relatively cheaper, while a strong currency may reduce competitiveness as product become more expensive for international market. Uh, Market expansion. Favorable exchange rates can make certain markets more attractive for expansions as they may reduce entry costs or increase demand for the business's products. Unfavorable rate, however, may deter expansion or investment in certain regions. Effects on consumer demand and spending power, cash flow management, and planning challenges. Effect exchange rate do not only affect only affect businesses, they also influence consumer behavior and spending patterns. When a domestic currency strengthens, consumers have higher purchasing power, making important goods cheaper. This can shift demand towards foreign products, affecting local businesses that compete with imported goods. On the other hand, when a domestic currency weakens, imported goods more expensive, uh, leading consumers to prefer locally produced alternatives. This can boost domestic industries but may also limit the variety of products available consumers. Forecasting and budgeting exchange rate volatility adds complexity to cash flow management for businesses operating internationally. Unexpected rate shifts can lead to cash flow issues affecting a business's ability to meet operational expenses to debts obligations. Planning uncertainty, exchange rate unpredictability makes long term planning difficult for businesses. Frequent rate changes require businesses to adjust pricing, cost structures, and forecast, potentially leading to inefficiencies. Any questions so far? So here is the summary of exchange impact on businesses. Exports cheaper for foreign buyer may increase sales. More expensive may reduce demand from foreign buyer. Effect of strong currency. Uh, More expensive, raising input costs. Cheaper, reducing input costs. International profit convert to more domestic currency. International profit convert to less domestic currency. Foreign loans, effect of weakened currency, increase cost of loan repayment. Strongest currency, decrease cost of loan repayments. Competitiveness, weaken currency depreciation, increase competitiveness in foreign market, and effect of strong currency appreciation, reduce competitiveness in foreign markets. Consumer spending, weak effect of weak currency depreciation, decreased demand for import, and effect of strong currency appreciation, increased demand for import. Uh, Here is a conclusion. Managing exchange rate risk, exchange rate fluctuations can positively or negatively impact businesses depending on their exposure to international market. Companies must actively monitor currency movement and implement strategies like hedging and financial planning to mitigate risk. By understanding exchange rate dynamics, businesses can adopt pricing strategies, uh, optimize supply chains, and take advantage of opportunities in global market. Uh, that's it for today. Here are some references, and uh, also you can find some books on your Moodle. So if you have any questions, concerns, or issues, you can ask now. You can drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. So that brings us to the end of our second session. And today we discussed how economic system, market structure, and macroeconomics factors influence business operations. Uh, we also discussed how businesses respond to interest rate changes, inflation, and globalizations to remain competitive and financially stable. So I hope understanding these economic principles, is essential for making informed informed business decisions, whether you are managing a company working in finance or planning future investments. As we move forward, we will continue building on these concepts, applying them to more specific business scenarios. So, thank you very much for joining me this evening. So, I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 for our third session. By then, if you have any questions, concerns, issue, as I said, you can drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Bye for now.